You know what? I am tired of having to pay a mortgage, and I want to figure out a way to have other people pay my mortgage.
We can do that. Multifamily's the way.
What are you even talking about?
You can buy this is actually great news, guys. So you can buy a multifamily home, being a 2, 3, or 4 unit property. You can actually live in one unit. So you purchase it as a primary home, live in one unit, and rent out the other. So if you have a 2 unit, rent out 1, 3, 4, ditto, rent out the same.
Well, so all these people are going to be living in my house?
No, because they're a multi-unit family.
What does that mean?
Okay, so back in the day, so it would be like a duplex, which is 2, a triplex, which is 3 single-family homes together. They all share a wall.
Okay. The same wall?
Not the same wall. Okay, so let's talk about a multi-unit family home. So you're talking a duplex, which is where you share a wall. You're talking a triplex to where the middle person shares 2 walls, and then each person on the end, that's a 3-unit property. Or you could have a 4-unit.
In some places, like Georgetown or New York, where the multifamily are actually stacked.
That is
so
correct.
You don't share walls necessarily. We have a luxury out here in the West because you can't really grow anything in the sand, so we tend to spread out.
Right.
And so ours are typically next to each other, but you could have one that has separate entrances that are stacked on top of each other.
He's correct. So depending on what state you buy in, a multi-unit property, investment property could be classified as something different. So on our side of it, on the lending side of it, what's great about it is you buy it as a primary home, so you're not subject to a non-owner occupied interest rate, meaning you're not subject to a rental interest rate.
Sure.
You get a primary interest rate, which is a huge plus. That allows you to actually make rent off of the other units that could actually pay for your loan.
So
it's actually amazing.
So that's a huge benefit over buying a single rental, right? Because it's not it's a different loan, and the amounts and the percentages of interest can vary. How much? I mean.
Correct. So what he's asking is what's the difference of buying a primary residence that is a multi-unit to where you can rent out the other units opposed to just buying a single family home as a rental? Well, that then is a non-owner occupied residence, and you have to put your 20% down payment. Certain programs on a multi-unit, you will get a lower down payment and you occupy one of the units, which makes it fantastic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So lower down payment, but isn't it also a higher interest rate sometimes?
Correct. But it all is on the overall picture. So we can't really throw an interest rate out there because it all really depends on what's the loan amount, what is the property type. So that can play into a whole different thing. And what I mean by that is depending on the type of property, it's maybe a 2-plex is probably going to be a little bit higher than a 3-plex or a 4-unit. It just is kind of what it is. Every single property type is going to have a different interest rate tied to that, whether it's a primary residence or a rental property.
So can I buy a 300-unit apartment building?
No, yes, you can, but not you would have to do it as a commercial loan, not a mortgage loan.
Right. So in other words, we're talking specifically about units that are capped out at what?
4 unit. Yep. 4 unit. 4
units. All right.
He's challenging me that it's 5. I'm pretty sure it's 4. But we will find out on that, and we will update you next week if he is incorrect or if I'm incorrect. But pretty darn sure it's a 4-unit. But anyway, so it's just a way for you to be able to make money.
Hold on, I got to get this.
Oh, good Lord. It's just a way for you to make money on a primary residence.
Yeah, it's it's a very interesting way if you can locate one. Now, I'll tell you that from the real estate side, it's not always easy to find these. But if you do happen to find one, or your realtor is able to help you find one, just understand all of the benefits from the lending side. And the huge plus, I'll tell you what, from the real estate side and having managed fleet of rentals in my life, all of your renters are right there. So there's a couple real big pluses here is that you're living in one of the units. Your other renters know that, so they tend to behave better. They're not that it doesn't happen, but they're probably not going to be throwing, raves or giant parties at your rental because you're right there and you're going to see that happen. They're also more likely to take care of the unit. And if there's any issue, and this will seem kind of strange, but let me tell you, it's a really good thing. If there's any issue, if there's a leak or anything like that, they tell you right away, which I can tell you from experience. I prefer to know right away when there's anything wrong because then I can get it fixed and not have it sit for weeks on end, not addressed and causing more damage. And then by the time I am actually made aware of an issue, I've got a much, much larger issue than what it would have been had it just been a dripping supply line to the toilet or something like that. So there's a lot of really cool things money-wise and just the fact that you're there with people that, and I'll tell you what, when they know the landlord and they're there and you have happy renters, they tend to stay a long time. That's huge too. So just know that if you can find one, seriously entertain it because that's a great way to have other people paying your mortgage. That they win and you win.
True story. So what are you going to do? You're going to look for a multi-unit. When you get with a realtor, have them put you on your single family dwellings, but also have them throw in multi-unit because it can actually work out for you.
All right, get to it.
There you go.